This is Dave C., and we are back with news headlines. It's down to the wire for President Trump and lawmakers to come up with a plan for hundreds of thousands of young, undocumented immigrants living in the U.S. In September 2017, the Trump administration officially announced its plans to phase out the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, otherwise known as DACA, which provides a level of amnesty to certain undocumented immigrants, many of whom came to the U.S. as children, with a 6-month delay for recipients. However, 2 federal judges have recently ruled that DACA must continue while litigation is pending. Here's a look at the DACA program and why Trump dismantled it. What is the DACA program? The DACA program was formed through executive order by former President Barack Obama in 2012 and allowed certain people who came to the U.S. illegally as minors to be protected from immediate deportation. Recipients called Dreamers were able to request consideration of deferred action for a period of 2 years, which was subject to renewal. Deferred action is the use of prosecutorial discretion to defer removal action against an individual for a certain period of time. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services stated, deferred action does not provide lawful status. Individuals were able to request DACA status if they were under the age of 31 on June 15, 2012, came to the U.S. before turning 16, and continuously lived in the country since June 15, 2007. Individuals also had to have a high school diploma, GED certification, been honorably discharged from the military, or still be in school. Recipients could not have a criminal record. It did not provide, quote unquote, legal status. Nearly 800,000 undocumented youth are under the program's umbrella. Thousands of people could lose their jobs if the DACA program is rescinded permanently, according to a study by the left-leaning think tank, the Center for American Progress. Daniel Garza, president of the conservative immigration nonprofit Libre Initiative, told Fox News that DACA offers a reprieve from a life of uncertainty for innocent kids who didn't break the law. It's rather disappointing to think that they could return to a state of anxiety and fear. Why did the Trump administration dismantle it? The Trump administration announced in September 2017 that it planned to phase out DACA for current recipients and no new requests would be granted. Since the announcement, Trump has offered to work with lawmakers on a solution for the hundreds of thousands of people in the U.S. who fell under DACA's umbrella of protections. He also repeatedly blamed Democrats on social media for a lack of solution. On February 13th, a Brooklyn federal judge ordered the government to let people already in DACA continue enjoying protections, but declined to guarantee the program to new applicants. In January, a San Francisco judge ruled that DACA must remain in place while litigation is ongoing. The Supreme Court reportedly held a closed-door meeting to discuss the court decisions on February 16th. Earlier this year, Trump released his 4 pillars of immigration reform, which included a provision for legal status for DACA recipients and others who would be eligible for DACA status. That White House estimated that the total would be 1.8 million people. DACA recipient 21 threatened to shoot all your babies at New York High School, the police say. A 21-year-old illegal immigrant who was allowed to stay in the U.S. under the Deferred Action for Child Arrivals, or DACA program, was arrested last week in Rochester, New York, for making terroristic threats against students in a high school, officials said. Abigail Hernandez was arrested and charged for the threats against East High School and was remanded to the Monroe County Court jail in lieu of $15,000 bail. Hernandez, who is not a student at the school, was moved to a federal detention facility and will be held there till a hearing is scheduled. Rochester City School called police at 5:08 p.m. February 16th about a threat posed on the East High School Facebook page, which read, "I'm coming tomorrow and I'm going to shoot all your babies." East High School Superintendent Sean Nelms told Wham Friday morning, sadly, in the wake of recent Parkland, Florida tragedy, schools across the country have been grappling with social media threats tended to instill fear and anxiety. While we cannot comment on the particulars of the police investigation around the threat made, I want to stress how fortunate we are to be part of a community in which the police department works closely with schools to ensure the safety of the entire school community. For the second year in a row, a transgender wrestler has won the Texas Girls 6A 110-pound division. Mark Beggs, an 18-year-old senior from Euless Trinity High School near Dallas, entered the tournament in Cypress outside of Houston with an undefeated record. He beat Chelsea Sanchez, who he beat for the title in 2017, in the final match Saturday. Video posted online showed a mix of cheers and boos from the crowd. Beggs is in the process of transitioning from female to male and taking a low dose of testosterone. It was his steroid therapy treatments while wrestling girls that stirred a fierce debate about competitive fairness and transgender rights last season. It's been a lot quieter since last year when his match to a state championship was dogged by a last-minute lawsuit that tried to stop him. Beggs had to wrestle in the boys division, but the rules for Texas public high schools require athletes to compete under the gender on their birth certificate. This is Dave C., and we are coming right back with more news, so stay with us.